Hey, it's Ted McGrath. So I'm going to share with you right now how to make irresistible offers in your business. And there's three different kinds of irresistible offers that I'm going to go over. So number one, how do you make an irresistible free offer? Number two, how do you make irresistible paid offers? And number three, how do you make irresistible high ticket offers? So if you're a coach, an expert, a service business, a consultant, speaker, somebody who wants to sell stuff online, this is a great video for you. So first and foremost, the basic principles of irresistible offers are number one, adding 2 times, 5 times, 10 times more value, right? So the more value you can stack into the offer, the more irresistible it's actually going to become, all right? So I'm going to give you some simple examples of that today, of making the irresistible offer by stacking on value. Ways to stack on value, first and foremost, is just kind of a signature thing for irresistible offers, is bonuses. So if you look at any online offers, I'm going to give you some examples of 2 online offers right now. One's free and one's paid. And it shows you exactly how we make an irresistible offer to increase conversions online. So if you're going to sell something online, if you're going to promote something online, this is absolutely the way to do it. So you get more people actually giving you their email address. Hey, Chloe, what's up? And also not just giving you their email address, but people want to go buy your stuff, right? So I'm going to give you 2 examples right now. We're going to do a free one, and we're going to do a paid one. And then I'm going to show you on a high ticket offer when I make really high ticket offers from the stage, which is anywhere from 30,000 all the way up to 100,000. How do you position a high ticket offer from the stage to get people to go, wow, I really, really want that thing, all right? So if you're wondering how to make your offer compelling, let's jump into that right now. So number one, let me share my screen with you so we can make this useful for you and give you a visual on this. So this one right here, if you're looking at this on the screen, this is a free offer. So anytime you're creating a funnel, the way that we do it is we give away something free most of the time, right? And so in this case, in this scenario, where you're looking at this headline here, this is actually a free offer. I'm giving away a free training. So when somebody goes to opt in and give their name and their email and their cell phone number here, they're opting in for something free, right? So anytime you're giving away a free offer, you want to make it like engaging and irresistible. So there's a couple ways that we do this. First and foremost, time is a really good way to make something irresistible. If you can do something faster than somebody else, well, they're going to be like, okay, I'm interested in this, right? So time is definitely a factor when you're making an irresistible offer. Second thing is when you're making an irresistible offer, you want to look at is it something that people want, right? So clearly you have to look at something that does your audience actually want this thing that you're offering up, okay? But in terms of time, like if you look right there on the screen where it says 3 days, most people, when they're making an offer, sometimes they put a time deadline, sometimes they don't. But for us, when we're building funnels for people in their business, the average length of time it takes somebody to build and launch an online funnel is about 6 months, right? So we do it for people in 3 days. So when we can do something in 3 days versus 6 months, that's 3 days versus 180 days. That becomes like, wow, that's 60 times faster. So when you can do something twice as fast, 5 times as fast, 10 times as fast, 60 times as fast, it makes it like, wow, you can do this 60 times faster. This is irresistible, right? So anybody who's been wanting to launch online for a long time, somebody looks at this and goes, wow, 3 days, I could get up and running in 3 days. That's pretty big, right? So that's first. Second thing is, I mean, is it solving a pain point that somebody has? So we know by surveying clients, observing clients, that when we're going to create an offer, we're looking, it's solving a problem that somebody's having? Like, do they have a severe pain point in this area? So I know that entrepreneurs, whether they're coaches, consultants, service businesses, experts, most entrepreneurs have tried to launch online before and they failed, or they've launched online and they don't know how to scale, or they've launched online and they've gotten confused. So we kind of just figured it out. Like if we could take the runway out, which is the pain point for the customer, like they try something, they get stuck. They try something, they get stuck, and a year later they're sitting there. So to make the offer irresistible, we're like, well, what if we could help people actually launch their sales funnels in 3 days? Like build them, launch them, like press a button, ads going. Like that would be too good to refuse. So in this offer, even though it's a free offer, we're showing them how we're doing it. So if I'm sitting there and I got a pain point of like, man, I've never launched online before and I want to know how to launch online, I would be going, this is interesting. How could I launch online and build and launch my sales funnels in 3 days, which is 60 times faster. So number one, time frames, right? Time frames make something more irresistible. I can do it in 3 days versus 180 days. Number two, am I solving a big pain point that somebody has? Like they want to get launched online in this particular offer. Would you see it? I'm solving that pain point. And number three, is it trending? AI is trending right now. Crypto and Bitcoin are trending right now. So it's a trend that we're also capitalizing on. Obviously, you're not going to throw a trend in that has nothing to do with what you're doing because you got to, be selling something that you can actually deliver on. But if there's a trend, then trends make things hot as well. So when I put timelines in, number one, number two, solving a big pain point that people have, and number three, that you see on the screen, that to the customer becomes irresistible. Okay. So, and this is just a free offer. Now, we found that when you actually add on, I'm going to show you one more thing here. So when you actually add on, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Great. So I'm going to share the screen one more time. So we found that when you actually add on an additional thing for free, so you see this sometimes like, hey, discover how my clients are using AI to build and launch your sales funnels in 3 days. And then you see here, plus get my 57 of my top performing funnel templates for free. It's like, wow, you're going to show me how to build and launch sales funnels in 3 days. Plus I'm going to get 57 of your top performing funnel templates. If I'm looking at this page, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Take my email, take my cell phone number. I'm in because it's a free offer. So by stacking on the value, by doubling the value, by giving a second thing, not just a free training for them to watch how we do it, but by giving a second thing that's instantly downloadable, like instant, right? Get my templates for free, like get them now. I'm instantly getting the thing and I'm getting 57 top performing funnel templates as a customer. If I'm looking at this, I'm like, I'm in. So that was able to take the number of people who came to this page who wanted to give their name, email, and cell phone number. By adding this function of plus, get this, we increased we almost doubled the conversions with that. Like we 2 times the number of people, almost, not quite, but almost 2 times the number of people that would give us their name, their email, and their cell phone number. Okay. So again, statistically, when you do these things, it will increase the conversions and get people to take more action, which is what you're looking for. And that's what an irresistible offer should do. Okay. So there's a second function too that you want to look at when you're creating irresistible offers, which is bonuses. So if you look at anything online and you're like, wow, I want to go get that thing. I'm not sure if I want it now, but then there's a bonus offer. Most people, when they see the bonus offers, they're like, wow, I'm going to get a bonus too. I got to have this thing. And if you can also make the bonus offer just as good as the initial offer, which is hard to do sometimes, but if you can make the bonus that you give somebody just as good as the initial offer, so you got the offer plus the bonus, and if the bonus is just as good, then somebody's looking at this going, I got to have this thing right now. So in anything that we sell online, you probably may have seen our products online. I got 180 products. And so the one I'm about to share with you right now is just a product that we sell. It's been a bestseller of ours. And I'll show you how we just made this an irresistible offer. Very simple, very basic, right? We're selling a product that's teaching people how to speak online. You see the Get Speaking Online Business Launcher. So the customer scrolls down and like, what's in the product? Oh, this is in the product, right? Like, are you going to teach me how to do my own podcast at home? You're going to teach me how to speak and present online, the online speaker and presentation formula. You're going to teach me how to sell online. That's cool. I'm looking at this going, okay, that's a good value. I'll take it. But then plus, there's all these bonuses, right? So there's bonuses on like the 4 steps to actually launch the podcast at home with all the technology. Then there's doing your signature speech. Then there's a free coaching session we throw in. So when you stack on these incredible bonuses on top of an already existing offer, it increases the conversions because the people are getting double. Okay. Now, we haven't changed this offer. It's been a couple of years since we've changed it, but I'm going to start testing something. And my theory on this is if I added to this, here's a summary of all the stuff, but if I added 4, 5, 6 more bonuses, which I easily could because I have a lot of content, somebody would actually come and the conversions would go up on this page. Okay. So if you really want to make it irresistible, stack on additional value like we did in this product. Okay. So I've given you a couple examples right now. I've given you example of just a product that we sell online, which is an online product. I gave you an example of a free product, right? So in a free offer, you should make it irresistible. In a low tier offer like this, it's like 37 bucks, you should make it irresistible. But then there's a third element where you should make something irresistible when you're pitching it, and that's on a high-end offer, okay? So I'll give you an example of this. So when we do a high-end offer, and I pitch from the stage, right? Whether I'm pitching online or I'm pitching in front of a group, like we do events every 2 months. We have one coming up at the end of June, and we have a bunch of people that come to our events. And at the event, I'm the guy who pitches from the stage. So I get up and I make the offer from the stage. Now, one of the keys to doing it is as you're going through the offer, there's an element of being clear on what's in the offer. So when you're pitching, you should always have steps like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So when you're doing a PowerPoint and you're pitching, you should be like, okay, what's included in this is step 1, this, then step 2, this, then step 3. And you walk people through that, right? Now, there's an irresistible offer that you make, which I'll show you in a second. But there's also the presentation of the offer that actually makes it irresistible. So if I'm just going to go through an irresistible offer and I'm pitching from the stage and I'm like, so the first thing you get is this, and the second you get this, and the third thing, and the fourth thing, and the fifth thing, and the sixth, and I keep going through 11 things at once without inserting stories, it doesn't matter how good the offer is, nobody's going to buy. Okay? So the key to making it irresistible is also making it real. So if you're pitching something that looks good to a customer, but it's not real to them, they're not going to buy. And the way you make it real is you put a face on it, not your face of pitching it, but a face of a customer that succeeded. So anytime you're going through a pitch, like at an event, when I go through the pitch, there's actually like 11, I think, steps to it of what we do, 9 or 11 steps. I recommend trying to keep it at 7, but to explain our offer of how we build and launch sales funnels in 3 days, the 11 are required. So I go through the 11, but after about like step number 2, I tell the success story of a customer. And I don't just go in and be like, oh, here's a success story of a customer that did it. Because if you just go, here's what so-and-so did, then you're just giving more data and more data. And there's a certain point in a presentation when you're making an offer where you give so much data and the customer just goes, oh, they can't take anymore. So you give the data, step 1, step 2, and then you stop and then you tell a story about the customer who succeeded doing this. Okay. When I do this from the stage, I'll stop and I'll tell a story of like, let's say I was selling something where I was pitching this offer about how to become a speaker, right? I'll stop and pause and I'll tell a story about Alex Moscow, who came to me one time and he's like, I don't know what I want to do. And I said, I think you do know what you want to do. He's like, well, what do I want to do? And I said, I can't tell you what you want to do. I said, but I do know what you want to do. He goes, well, tell me what I want to do because I'm a little lost on this. I said, I can't tell you. You know what you want to do. Just tell me what you want to do. He goes, well, I think I want to speak. But the problem is I have a stutter. And so I go, yeah. So, and I said, well, why don't you just get up and tell the story about the fact that you have a stutter? And then your attention will go off of it. You'll speak a little bit more clearly. The audience's attention will go off of it, and you'll continue on with your talking, and you'll be able to speak from the stage. Sure enough, he went into his first seminar. He got 10 people in the room, and he did about 70,000 or 60,000 in sales, and his speaking business was born, right? So I will tell that story when I'm making a pitch, and I'll insert it after a couple of the steps. And the reason I insert it after a couple of steps is it's giving a real life story of somebody who it didn't look like it was possible for them to actually go do it. And they actually went and did it because this person had all odds stacked against them with stutter, and they still went and did it. So when you're making an offer, one of the things that people think in their head right away is they're like, well, this isn't going to work for me. I can't do it. I don't believe it's going to work for me. So you share the story of somebody who was an underdog who did it. And all of a sudden they're like, well, maybe I could do this. So what makes an offer irresistible, again, it's how you stack it. And I'll show you how I stack this offer in a minute, but meaning the bonuses you put on. But what makes it irresistible is the presentation of how did it work for someone else. And so of course it's going to become more irresistible to me if it becomes more real to me. If it becomes more real that I can see myself doing the thing, and I'm like, I actually think I could succeed doing it, it becomes irresistible. I'm like, if I believe I can do it and I want it, I have to have it. And so that's one of the things that's often left out in like, well, I just give a lot of value to somebody and they're going to buy. No, because you see this all the time in presentations where somebody gives lots of value, lots of value, lots of value, lots of value. And at the end, they make the pitch and nobody buys. And they violated the cardinal rule. And the cardinal rule of pitching is like, in pitching, you never just make one call to action. There's been so many great content providers in the world who give great content. I've watched it over and over again from the stage, and they give this great content. And at the end, they make a pitch and they give great content and nobody buys. And they're like, wow, my content must not be good. People must not like me. And the truth is, you made one call to action. So nobody bought. You got to make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not uncommon that I'll make 14, 15 calls to action in a room when I'm in a seminar over varying degrees of time. So the second concept of making something irresistible is you have to actually make multiple calls to action, because if you don't make multiple calls to action, guess what happens? The customer doesn't know you're talking to them. So it can't be an offer if somebody doesn't even know you're really, really speaking to them. And it's a true thing. If you've ever made a pitch, if you watch online, if you make a pitch, if you do it from the stage, you make the first call to action, somebody looks behind them and are like, is he talking to me? They literally sometimes don't know you're fully communicating to them and with them. So when you say again, the second time you make the offer, but you phrase it in a different way and you vary the offer, phrase it in a different way where it's real to them, all of a sudden it becomes an offer. So something can't be irresistible if somebody doesn't know it's an offer for them. So key components, you have structure and then you have presentation, which makes the thing irresistible. Structure is simple. I'll give you the structure right now. It's 2 bullet points about the offer, story. Another 2 bullet points about the offer, or 3, story. Another 2, 3 bullet points about the offer, story. So dripping multiple stories, case stories, stories about your own life, stories that make it more real to the customer, any level of storytelling you want to do that makes it more real to the customer will make the offer more irresistible because it makes it real. Okay. So again, structurally, really simple. Bullet point 1, bullet point 2, here's what's in the offer, story, makes it real. Bullet point 3, bullet point 4, story, makes it real. Bullet point 5, bullet point 6, story, makes it real. Bullet point 7, bullet point 8, story, makes it real. Then you get into the pricing and you make the offer. Okay. So it's what's leading up to the actual call to the action that creates the irresistibleness of the presentation. Okay. And that is a key component that you gotta understand when you're making offers. Okay. So again, 1, in principle, structure is important. Here's the steps. 2, insert stories in there to make it real. And then 3, when you get to the offer itself, you make multiple calls to action in different ways to make it more real and more irresistible to the customer. Okay. And this is an interesting thing because when you do get to the offer and you get through and you make the call to action, then you stack on a bonus package. So when we do this at a seminar and we're saying, hey, we're going to build your funnels in 3 days, then we stack on an offer and we go, hey, but what if we could help you set twice as many appointments in your funnel, or give you twice the number of conversions in your funnel through this new AI technology that we have, and we'll stack this bonus on into this offer. And so we combine 2 things together, like we're going to build a funnel and then we have this new AI technology that we're going to stack on. And then you put the 2 things together like, wow, the bonus is amazing. This is amazing. I'm interested in the offer. And the bonus could be a variety of different things that you offer up. It just needs to be an additional thing that makes sense and it fits with the offer. And one of the keys to kind of doing an upsell, if let's say I'm going to make an offer and then I want to sell something additional, or I want to make the next thing irresistible, the bonus package should be something that they kind of have to have. They're like, wow, if I don't have the bonus package, I'm kind of missing out on this thing. So like if I said, great, so the first thing we're going to do is help you build the sales funnel and get this sales funnel launched. And then when the sales funnel is launched, we have another technology, which is an AI technology that's going to engage with your leads and double the engagement with your leads. So if you want to get the bonus, let's say the first 10 people to take action get the bonus. If you want to get the bonus, you have to take action on this today. And so now they're like, well, why would I launch a funnel without getting this thing that's going to give me double the engagement? It doesn't make any sense. So it's almost like it's irresistible because I have to have it. And if I didn't have the thing and I knew about it, it'd be like a loss. Like, why would I wouldn't even buy this offer. Doesn't make any sense if I'm not going to get the other thing too. Okay. So there's a variety of ways you can do that with bonuses, but that's how you make it irresistible. It's like, I have to have this thing, have to have it. Okay. So now you have a regular offer, you have a bonus stack that's like, I have to have it. So the whole thing becomes must have it, totally irresistible, taking action now. Okay. So again, a recap of the irresistible offer. Number one, structure is very important. So in structure, you just tell people step 1, step 2, or bullet point 1, bullet point 2, then you tell a story. Bullet point 3, bullet point 4, tell a story. Bullet point 5, bullet point 6, tell a story. Why? Because when you tell stories, it makes it real. Additionally, within the storytelling, you should have stories about yourself. You should have stories about your customers. You should have stories about loss or money. Why? Because when you tell stories and you're making an offer and you tell a story about money, where a customer made a decision to do this despite money being a barrier, all of a sudden the person who had money as a barrier goes, wow, the barrier's gone. This offer has now become something that I want. It becomes irresistible. Okay. Second thing is if you tell a story about loss or tell a story about whatever the customer is going through, right? Like if I don't take action on this, there's going to be some loss as a result. The customer who's thinking I don't want to miss out is going to go, wow, that's real. I don't want to miss out on this thing too. I need to take action. So while the structure of the irresistible offer has to be in really good with structure, with bullet points, storytelling, and bonuses there to get people over the top, it's the telling of the stories that make it real, and it's the handling of the objections that make the barriers go away so the customer can actually reach for the offer. Because we all know that no matter how great the offer is, if the customer still has a barrier that's preventing them, they're not going to go get it. It could be the greatest thing in the world, and they're like, I really want this, but they just can't have it because there's something in the way that hasn't been handled. So the way you make it in the presentation totally irresistible is you address every single one of the barriers that a customer would have, which would be money. So you should have a money story. It would be time. So you should have a time story, like, something to do with time where you took action. You're glad you took action and you didn't waste 2-3 years on it. There should be a story of loss or regret. You should have one of those. And there should be like an underdog story of how you were a client, despite all odds, succeeded. So you might be looking at this going, wow, there's a lot that goes into this. And it's yes, but like if you're going to sell something, you're going to structure that presentation at one time and you're going to keep selling that thing over and over and over again. If you want to get really great at making the offer, and even though the offer is so fantastic, it's not irresistible to the client unless the barriers are removed, unless the stories that are told by you are real, and unless the customer's like, wow, this totally makes sense to me. And then the bonus is so good that they're like, I got to do this thing today. Okay. So that's the gist of how you go about doing it. Again, you can do this in irresistible offer can be done in a free offer where it's like, I'm going to give you this free gift, plus I'm going to give you this thing. So it's like a bonus in a free offer. It can be done in a paid offer. Hey, you're going to get these 3 things, plus you're going to get an additional 3 things as a bonus. And it can also be done in a large, higher ticket offer of like, hey, get this thing and get this huge bonus package as well. For all of you who are coaches, consultants, experts, service businesses, people like you who might want to sell stuff online, one of the keys to selling stuff online is just like selling content and giving great value and giving a whole bunch of stuff away. Because if your service is really great, or the thing that you're offering up, that's the real high-end service that really produces results, then you can give away as much content as you want. You can sell as much content at big discounts or big bonuses as much as you want as well. So those are my tips on how to make an irresistible offer. I hope it helps you. The main thing is obviously, the content of it. How good is the content of what you're actually offering up? But it can be so great with the best bonus packages in the world, but with no stories and without multiple calls to action and without handling the objections, the greatest offer in the world will never sell without doing those things. Okay. So hope this serves you. If you like this, share this with somebody else, and hope this will help you in creating your offers online. You guys are awesome.